Hello and welcome back to another lazy lesson. Amid confusions and tensions, the Union Cabinet has recently allocated Rs 3,500 crores for updating the National Population Register. The process shall commence from April next year and will be completed by September. So what is National Population Register and how is it different from NRC or Census? Let's have a look. But before going further, we have a small announcement to make. Like you all know, prelims has been a challenge for both veterans as well as freshers. Even many experienced candidates fail at the prelim stage. So what is the right solution to this problem then? Well, the answer lies in taking more and more tests. Now with less than 170 days left for your prelims, taking the test which has the right approach is very much necessary to emerge successful. So in this regard, with renewed focus and unique tailor-made programs, we are launching the Intensive Prelims Booster Test Series 2020 starting from January 1st, 2020. You can view the details of our test series on our website. We are also providing the link in the description box below. So what is NPR? Well, as per the definition, the NPR is a register of usual residents of the country. So here observe closely, it mentions usual residents and not just residents. So who are these usual residents? See, for the purposes of NPR, we define a usual resident as a person who has resided in a local area for the past 6 months or more, or a person who intends to reside in that area for the next 6 months. So first point is clear now, that is the NPR is a register of usual residents. Now let's take up the second question. What are the demographic details required for the NPR? See, the basic objective of the NPR is to create a comprehensive identity database of every usual resident in the country. So, the database would contain demographic particulars such as name, father's name, mother's name, sex, date of birth, place of birth, nationality as declared, present address of usual residents, among others. And based on these informations, a citizen will be issued a national identity card. Friends, please note that this is not the first time that the data for NPR is being collected. The data for this was collected for the first time in 2010 and the data was last updated in 2015 and digitization of the updated information has been completed now. Now let's take up the next question. That is, from where does the government derive its power to create such a register? Well, here basically section 14A of the Citizenship Act empowers the government to compulsorily register every citizen of India and issue an identity card. Besides, this act also empowers the government to maintain a national register of Indian citizens. And hence, we can say that the government is quite empowered to take up such missions. And not just that, we also have some supporting rules for this. That is, the citizenship rules issued in 2003 introduced the term population register. And as per these rules, the particulars collected in the population register shall be verified and scrutinized for the purpose of preparation and inclusion in the citizenship register. Well friends, we are clear with 4 things so far. That is, what is a national population register, who are usual residents, what kind of demographic information is collected, and what are the statutory provisions or rules in this regard. Now the last question we have is, who conducts this survey and where it is applicable? See, the government is now planning to update the NPR along with the house listing phase of Census 2021 during April to September 2020. And this shall be done in all the states and union territories except Assam. Now why is Assam excluded? It is because Assam recently had the NRC exercise undertaken to identify and detain illegal immigrants. Let us briefly understand what exactly is the NRC. See, in simple terms, it is an official record of those who are legal Indian citizens. And it includes demographic information about those people who qualify to be citizens of India as per the Citizenship Act 1955. And so far, such a database has only been maintained for the Assam. And who conducts NPR? Well, this process shall be carried out under the aegis of the Registrar General and ex officio Census Commissioner of India. And please note here that this office is under the Union Ministry of Home Affairs. So friends, so far we have studied what is NPR, who are usual residents, what kind of demographic information is collected, what is NRC, and who conducts NPR and where it is applicable. I hope we are clear with the basics now. Okay, Now let us take up the analytical part. Now in the first place, let us look at some of the differences between the census and the NPR. How is NPR different from census? Well, there are two main differences between the census and the NPR. Firstly, the census doesn't ask for any individual identity details, whereas the NPR is designed to collect individual identity details of every individual. Here, identity details means your Aadhaar number, PAN number, or even passport number. While these informations are collected by NPR, they are not collected during the census. And the second and most important difference is that the census data is protected by a confidentiality clause. And according to this clause, the government has a commitment to protect or not to reveal information received from an individual for the head count. But on the other hand, the NPR would serve as the mother database to verify citizenship if a nationwide NRC is carried out later on. So obviously this gives rise to privacy concerns among the citizens. Now what are the concerns surrounding the NPR, or why many states have been opposing this? It is mainly because many people are seeing NPR as the first step in implementing the national level NRC. Besides, this move comes at a time when there are already widespread protests going on across the country against the NRC and the Citizenship Amendment Act. Till date, chief ministers of three states, that is West Bengal, Kerala and Rajasthan, have announced that they will not work for the NPR. Now one question that arises is, should the people really be worried about this? The answer as per the government is no. But people have their own concerns to worry. See, the main fear here is that at least 19 lakh people in Assam were excluded in the final NRC list, which was released in August 2019. So this is the one thing that has generated fears in the minds of people across India. And very recently, Union Home Minister Amit Shah said that there is no link between the National Population Register and the National Register of Citizens. And he also observed that those who are spreading rumors on NPR are actually hampering benefits of poor and minorities. But this is not sufficient to fill the confidence in the minds of the people. The people are still worried because the same ruling government had linked NRC and NPR several times in the past. The government has also told several times that NPR is one of the steps pertaining to conducting a nationwide NRC. And people are more worried because it is mandatory for every usual resident of India to register in the NPR. It includes both Indian citizens as well as a foreign citizen. Dear friends, this might be a very important fact for your prelims. I'll repeat, it is mandatory for every usual resident of India to register in the NPR, and the NPR includes both Indian citizens as well as a foreign citizen. The only criteria here is that a person should have resided in a local area for the past 6 months or more, or a person who intends to reside in that area for the next 6 months or more. He will be called a usual resident. He can be both a citizen as well as a foreigner. Now very recently, people got a little bit more confused and concerned because of the leaked images of NPR forms over social media. The leaked images show that the NPR form sought details on place of birth of father and mother. And the worry here is that this could ultimately be used to determine the citizenship of the usual residents. So presently, anyone born in India before July 1, 1987 or whose parents were born before that date are considered Indian citizens. But defending its move, the government says that the NPR is being updated for efficient delivery of welfare and social benefits under various government schemes. True, this was the original objective of NPR, but things gradually changed with the introduction of Aadhaar, and eventually Aadhaar was backed by an act which mandated linking of subsidies and welfare schemes to possessing an Aadhaar number. Now in this context, it may not be correct to argue that NPR is needed for efficient delivery of benefits anymore. So, unless the central government gains the confidence of opposing states, it will be hard to carry out the NPR task. It is because though the NPR is a central exercise, state level officers are needed to conduct this survey. Now based on today's discussion, let us try to solve a question from prelims perspective. Consider the following statements. 1. First nationwide census was conducted in India post-independence. 2. Usual resident as per the NPR can be an Indian citizen only, which of the above statements is or are correct. You can comment your answers in the comment section below. That's it for today. Thank you.